Wait a second. Excuse me? Huh. Oh, that's why. Is that why? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, boys and girls. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. That's why. Ah, okay. All right. Okay, okay, okay. I think this is fine now. It's a little too loud. 33. Let's bring that up to 3-ish. Okay, well, there we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, boys and girls. How are we all doing today? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Oh, that's the wrong button. I don't even need my keyboard for this, do I? No, I don't. Okay, let me just get rid of that. Go. Go away. Go. Oh, no, I can't go that way. You know, I thought I would have been free of wires when I moved on from. Oh, it moved my camera. That's okay. Hi, I'm back. when I chose to go over to like wireless keyboards and mice and stuff, I thought I would be done with wires for the rest of my life. I truly did. Until I realized that all of these things require charging. And we're not yet at the point where charging works seamlessly. So, you know what I actually really want is there's this thing that essentially uses a aimed laser to charge. I can't remember exactly the name for it. I saw a working prototype a while ago. Not ND8, surprisingly. I saw a working prototype a while ago, and it was just fantastic. There was just a tiny little chip, a tiny little not a solar panel. What was it? A amplifier of some sort. That, and then you would put a laser, essentially where your lights would go, right? And exactly. When the lights shone on it. Oh, wrong button. When the lights shone on it, it would charge, and that is simply fantastic. What are we doing? Yes, we're doing that. Give me 1 second. Laser-based charging. Mhm. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. We're gonna ignore that. Okay, so today we are going to, I don't know, walk around Japan as we are. Where are we going? I was the one that was supposed to decide. I completely forgot about deciding. Actually, why don't we do this? Let's, instead of doing these boring or mildly boring mountain roads, where was that? Yeah, we were outside Hiroshima the other day. Let's move around Lake Biwa, which is also kind of pretty. So we'll do that. Like, I don't want to always go along like the most famous roads. It's just not that interesting, right? So we should choose some roads that are less traveled, perhaps. Charging on a touch surface. It doesn't quite work like that, no. And also, good morning, Coach. How are you doing today? For those of you who weren't here last time, we were in Japan. What's the time we were out for minutes? Last time we were in Japan, Hiroshima. We accidentally stumbled across a trucker's stop that advertised its ability to rent costumes, and so like Hotel. So no, the idea is we don't want to do that. At least not this time. I wonder if I can make the resolution change. Actually, give me 1 second. Google Maps, Google Street View resolution. Standard free. Oh, but that's API. That's API. API. My voice in Japanese sounds more pretentious. I wonder why that is. That's actually a really interesting point, Quitch, that I don't think anyone else has brought up. Does it? Okay, let me try saying something in Japanese. Actually, let me look for something to say in Japanese. 1 quick second though. Look for something. Let's just go to nhk.co.jp. There we go. No, that's not it. NHK News Web. There we go. Actually, yeah, let's do Easy Web. I'm gonna read an article in Japanese, and then we're going to see if it's 6 minutes. News is reading in Japanese. Okay. There we go. ゼレンスキー大統領、日本の大学生にオンラインで講演。東京にある東洋大学で4日、ウクライナのゼレンスキー大統領がオンラインで講演をしました。東洋大学はロシアが攻撃を始めてからウクライナから10人以上に留学を迎えています。Okay, the content itself is not specifically funny. In context, though, it is a little bit, and this is a minor comment. A minor comment on Japanese society that what is that? Taking more than 10 international students is considered newsworthy, right? And part of that is simply just that's how Japanese society ends up being. And like there's society and culture as a whole moves slowly, especially in one that is aging. The older society is, the slower changing it is. I think that's fair, right? Muses, the older society is, the slower it changes. Yeah, so 会場には大学生や留学生など350人ぐらいが集まりました。ゼレンスキー大統領はミサイルや爆弾がない空、家族や友達がなくならないこと、家が壊されないことが今の私たちには奇跡です。ウクライナを平和な国にするために戦っています。と話しました。日本の大学生は大統領の強さについて質問しました。大統領はいろいろなものが気になります。情報を伝えることも一つの武器です。皆さんが将来言葉以外の武器を使わないように祈っていますと言いました。この講演は東洋大学のウェブサイトで見ることができます。There you go. There you go. That's Muses speaking in Japanese. Do I sound like a newscaster? uh, well, actually, like, I feel like that is actually how that sound in sort of a formal setting. I think that is more how it sounds than like, say for example, me right now speaking continuously without stop and using punctuation marks, etc., etc. Oh, Quitch says that. Yeah. So, in more formal settings, you do like in Japanese, you don't quite need as many or as far as I can see, right? Um, you don't need quite as many how do you say, punctuation marks, simply because, or I mean, you still use them, but there are natural stopping points within within Japanese that make it really really interesting to simply stop at the correct point, right? Like you generally when you, can I use my keyboard? I can use my keyboard. Okay. Generally, when you're reading, at least when I'm reading, I tend to, before before I get really far into it, um, stop at every particle, because then you can process the sentence beforehand, and that's how Japanese is read, right? Uh, what timing are we at? We are at 11 minutes. Japanese as a language provides natural stopping points um, for introductory reading, which apparently makes muses sound like a newscaster, news broadcaster. Well, I mean, I read was actually Easy Web. It wasn't official. It wasn't the official one. Thank you, Quitch. Thank you for not thinking that I'm a weeb. But to go to a point beforehand, I was reading Easy Web, which is sort of the NHK version of basic Japanese used to explain languages. I can actually I'll send out the link afterwards as well. Send out link to Easy Web. Actually, I can just paste that in right now. What am I doing? There we go. There we go. Okay. Also, I'm not a weeb. Uh, I I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I do have family in Japan. So, like, part of the reason why I learned Japanese, or actually most of the reason why I learned Japanese, is because it's simply easier for me to learn Japanese than it is for them to learn English because of reasons. I was saying, proper professional Japanese is much more long-winded than what I read, right? Like these are more, you can think of them more as grade school level reading, whereas if we're talking about, we're supposed to be at Lake Biwa, yes, but why do I not see it? Excuse me. Oh, because we're too far away. Got it. Let's move to this Shimizu no Sakura. Go. Oh, hey, look, there are actual sakura trees. Sakura. Fantastic. I was saying, yeah. So the stuff I read was also more grade school level, which meant that it's easier to do those types of stopping points, right? If we were actually to read like professional long-winded or not long-winded, just professional articles, they would be a little bit more complicated with subclauses and blah blah blah, all of that good stuff. But even in those, it's still fairly like Japanese, because of the way it's structured. Japanese is actually very good at giving you stopping points in sentences and identifying subclauses, right? In English, we don't really have that because I can. You can see that I can ramble on for sentences and sentences, and technically, if I wanted to write the way that I spoke, I would not need to use a period at all because I can just put a comma in, for example, in front of because, in front of for example, blah blah blah, all of that good stuff. Full stop right here, right? And that is fine. Yes. 15 minutes. Muses rambling in a sample English sentence. But in Japanese, you don't really like if you write in a very formal way. There are a lot of particles that help denote the points where the conversation, where you can stop, right? And that makes learning it actually quite easy. Also, I love those things. You can see my mouse, right? These things. They're obviously not communist related, but like they just remind me a lot of. Never mind. Anyway. That's exactly how it works, yes. Isn't it nice that we don't have traffic, we don't have to stop for traffic? We're now in the... Oh, look, we're at the 7-Eleven. Okay, let's go left. Go left at the 7-Eleven. That's exactly it. Oh, I miss those convenience stores. Oh my god, they're so good. Like, convenience stores here simply have nothing on those. Like, 7-Elevens here are so boring, but in Japan, oh, like Lawson, oh, fantastic. Actually, I prefer them in Hong Kong, but that's for sort of slightly unrelated reasons. There's nothing wrong with preferring... I wonder what that says. Listening to the small voices. It's kometo. Kometo is I believe they are, just so I don't make a fool of myself. They are a kometo. They are Buddhist based political party. But they are fairly yes. Yeah. They're more religious. They're still conservative, which is why they sort of play along with the LDP. LDP in this case. Look at that! Doesn't that just look like a castle wall? It's fantastic. The LDP, just for those who don't know, is the ruling party of Japan and has been the ruling party of Japan for essentially all of the post-war period. I think there was only like a period of like a year or two where the I can't even remember this what the other party was called. Because really, like, the LDP, the internal politics of the LDP determined the direction of the country. Right, and so, yeah. That's LDP. Right? Yes. It is nice, right? It looks like an estate. It's probably a temple. Let's see. Yeah. Here. Right? Some sort of temple. I'm not going to attempt to read the kanji just simply because I would not get it right. I thought this was some kind of funky staircase, but now I see it's not that funky. Let's turn around to look at it. It would be funkier like how Google stitched it though, yes. Maybe I should put the label sponsored back on because no. So here's the thing. Essentially now every single broadcast has a corporate sponsor behind it now, which is it's mildly disappointing. But what am I gonna do? Like, oh, that looks interesting. Let's. What is that? Oh, that's another temple. Okay. You can tell. Okay. As an aside, you can tell these temples. So these are Buddhist temples. They're not Nazi symbols. And these are Shinto temples, right? I mean, a lot of people get those confused, but the Nazi symbol is technically rotated 45 degrees. So that's how you know when it's a nice square. It's a it's just a Buddhist sign. Yeah. Oh yeah, and we are at the shores of Lake Biwa, I believe. That's a nice ish. What even is that? Nihon no Nogyo Mamoru. Oh, protecting the farmers. Oh yeah, see, there are the communists. Oh, oh, it's all communist posters. Got it. Yeah, the Communist Party is actually quite or was quite popular. I'm actually not sure. Let's take a look. Japan diet. Soviet ties. No, Japanese Communist Party. There we go. It's currently 10 out of 465. Oh, actually, Quitch. That's interesting. I will say this. I don't think our viewers would normally sponsor this type of content, but partially they do it because, or at the start they did it because they thought it would put me out of my comfort zone. I'm talking to three to five of our original viewers who are you all here? Let me take a look. Okay, I see 3 of you. I see 4. All 5 of my boys are here. Yes. So originally, when I first started accepting sponsorships, they thought they could like make me feel they were particularly vicious and vindictive and wanted to make me feel bad about myself. I'm not gonna name their names. They know exactly who they are. Now, why would it be entertaining to sponsor something so out of the ordinary? How do I spell ordinary? There we go. One second. Mostly because they are vindictive and feel inferior to me. Oh, come on, don't autocorrect that. But these days, it's become an interesting thing for everyone. And so, yeah, once we've sort of moved on from that original vindictive pettiness, vindictive pettiness, it's been actually fantastic, right? Like we've explored so many really nice things together. In particular, look at this, right? I didn't actually think we would see this, but we do. Lake Biwa Sakura Date, right? This is see how many look at these types of cars, right? Oh, okay, well some of them are good. Some of them are just kind of like crap Toyotas, but that's besides the point. The point is this is a view that you really don't really get outside of Japan. Or I mean you probably could, but it's just not as it's not as impactful when you get it outside of Japan. Look at that view, right? I wish we could get this in higher resolution. I'm going to try to find out. 1 second. Excuse me. There we go. Okay. Okay. Actually, I will address that. But I will address that afterwards. Yes. Like this is the type of view that actually to go back to one of our earlier points or the previous point, this is the type of view that you can only get when we sponsor things that are not ordinary, right? Like if I were just a regular streamer, we would probably not be doing this a lot. Simply because like okay, if we were at the mercy of strict market forces, we wouldn't be doing this. Good morning, Sidewinder. How are you today, my boy? Yeah, right. Like, because I just do so much. Like, you guys sponsor such weird things occasionally that it's beautiful, right? And that's why views like this, except for the dude wearing purple, is just fantastic. I wonder if we can get rid of the dude wearing purple. Yeah, now we have an old couple. But like, okay, ignore the. I was about to say ignore the police. Ignore the crime scenes tape and just like look at the view for what it is, right? Like the view is just it's fantastic. I wonder why there is a quote unquote police cordon, right? Because technically, is it to keep people off the grass or is it to keep people keep people from walking on the roads? That's a good question. I don't know, but this is very pretty. Yes. Look at all these K cars. Oh, fantastic! Look at that. Is that a K camper van? That is fantastic. And look at this dude. This bloke just like parked his car in the middle of nowhere and just like, oh, actually, we should address this. I think I know what that is. And it's not a really happy topic. Suicide and parked cars. Well, I mean, Siderunner, people go near the edge anyway. They're supposed to go near the edge. That's why there are benches there. But yeah, so cars like this occasionally are of people who commit suicide by driving sort of far away from society, parking their car, and then walking into the forest. And like the police by law, they're not allowed to just tow the car away, right? Like what if the guy changes his mind or changes her mind and comes back out and there's no car left? So the best they can do is leave it there for a few, I don't know, a few years. I don't actually know the protocol for it, but this could very well be one of those cases where someone drove here, looked at the view, and then walked into the forest, right? And that is known to happen. That is known to happen. and it's a tragic way, right? But it is, yeah. Any type of that is pretty tragic. And not to end today's broadcast on a slightly more sad note. One second. I'll take, actually, you know what? I'll take this note out. I'll take, you and I know that it's here, you know. We're all here when we talked about this. If you guys want to talk, if you guys want to revisit it, it's here. But it's better not to take, leave it in the stream, because yeah. Anyway, let's get to this picnic area, and then we'll be done for today. I do believe that the police tape is actually to keep the pedestrians from coming onto the road, because the road itself, you know, the road is fairly oh, no, what am I saying? The police tape is to keep people from parking. Parking there, yeah. 31. Police crime scene tape is to keep people from parking on the side of the road. And yes, Quitch, let's end Sakura picnic. Because we're such weeps. Yes, well, let's have a picnic in the beautiful cherry blossoms with, oh, that, I'll be honest though, that is a pretty view. Let's move to this side and look at that view, right? Like, that is a beautiful view. We'll have a picnic. I'll have my tea. Quit just saying we should have a streaming picnic. That's not a bad idea. I don't know how I would stream that. I mean, if I would have the picnic in my office, you know. Yeah. Those people outside that are making ugly faces at me. They can also have a picnic. You know, we'll make some sandwiches. We'll find a nice place to sit, and we'll have a picnic. Ooh, zoom out. There we go. That is pretty, isn't it? Yeah, anyway, we are done for today. Music should stream a picnic. Question mark? Okay. Anyway, we are done for today. Yes. Fantastic. We'll figure it out in the future. Thank you very much. If anyone ever sponsors it. Thank you. Goodbye now. What was I saying? Right. Thank you very much for watching. In conclusion, please download Firefox. Please don't do Chrome. And that's it. Bye now. No.